This is the story of Jason, a devoted family man who struggled with stubborn love handles and embarked on a journey to reclaim his health and vitality. Through his experiences, you'll learn a practical 4-step plan to tackle love handles effectively, blending sustainable nutrition, targeted latissimus dorsi, and abdominal training, and myth-busting oblique exercises. By following Jason's path, you'll discover how to create lasting change in your own body, boost your confidence, and inspire those around you with a healthier lifestyle, all while managing the demands of daily life. If this kind of content is appealing to you, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. Jason, a father of 2 young children, loved nothing more than chasing his kids around the park or kicking a soccer ball in the backyard. But at 38, he felt increasingly sluggish, his energy sapped by the stubborn love handles that clung to his waist. They weren't just a physical burden, they were a constant reminder of failed diets and gym routines that left him drained and defeated. He tried everything. Crash diets that slashed thousands of calories, intense workout plans that he couldn't stick to, and each failure deepened his frustration, making him feel like he was letting his family down. Coming up, Jason's moment of clarity, where he discovers a sustainable approach to tackle his love handles, setting the stage for a hopeful new beginning. One evening, after another exhausting day, Jason caught his reflection in the mirror and felt a pang of self-doubt. He realized his aggressive approaches were doomed to fail because they weren't sustainable for his busy life as a dad. Scrolling online for answers, he stumbled across some advice that changed everything. Love handles, being the most stubborn fat, required a long-term, balanced strategy rather than quick fixes. This realization ignited a spark of hope in Jason. He learned that a moderate caloric deficit combined with specific exercises could transform his body without upending his family life. Next, we'll explore how Jason embraced nutrition in a way that fit his lifestyle, laying the foundation for his transformation. Jason began with nutrition, understanding that what he put in his mouth was the cornerstone of his journey. Instead of slashing his calorie intake drastically, as he'd done before, he aimed for a modest deficit of 300 to 500 calories daily. This meant small tweaks of swapping sugary snacks for fruit, cutting back on late-night treats, and cooking balanced meals with his wife that the whole family enjoyed. The moderate approach felt manageable, and for the first time, Jason didn't feel deprived. He started to enjoy the process, finding satisfaction in meals that fueled both his body and his family's happiness. This sustainability gave him the confidence to keep going, knowing he could stick with it long term. Shortly, Jason's focus shifts to training his latissimus dorsi, a key step to visually shrink his waistline and boost his energy for family time. With nutrition in check, Jason turned to training, specifically targeting his latissimus dorsi to create a V-taper that would make his waist appear slimmer. He incorporated standing one-arm cable pull-downs into his routine, a simple exercise he could do at the local gym. Driving his elbow toward his hip on each rep, he felt his latissimus dorsi stretch and contract, connecting with muscles he'd barely trained before. This wasn't about becoming a bodybuilder. Even modest latissimus dorsi development made a difference. Jason noticed his posture improving, which gave him more energy for playing with his kids. The visual effect of a wider back made his love handles seem less prominent, fueling his motivation to continue. Stay tuned. Jason's abdominal training comes next, offering quick wins that keep him motivated and tie back to his nutrition goals. Jason's next focus was his abs, not just for aesthetics but for motivation. He learned that fat loss often starts from the top down, with the upper abs showing first, long before love handles fade. Committing to just 5 minutes of daily abdominal exercises, like planks and crunches, he targeted all 6 major abdominal functions. Within weeks, he saw the faint outline of his upper abs, a small victory that reignited his drive. This progress reminded him to stay consistent with his nutrition, as the emerging abdominals were proof his efforts were working. His kids even joined in, turning abdominal workouts into a fun family activity, which deepened his emotional connection to the journey. Coming next, Jason tackles a common fitness myth about obliques, unlocking the final piece of his transformation puzzle. Jason had always avoided training his obliques, fearing the myth that they'd make his waist look blocky. But he learned that obliques, when trained properly, could actually enhance his waist's tapered look. Using a resistance band at home, he targeted both internal and external obliques with controlled twists, focusing on moving his pelvis rather than just his legs. This simple routine fit seamlessly into his busy schedule. As he shed fat through his sustained nutrition plan, his obliques began to define his waistline, making it appear narrower and more sculpted. This revelation dispelled his doubts, replacing them with a sense of empowerment and clarity. Almost there. See how Jason's journey culminates in a victory that transforms not just his body, but his family life. Months into his journey, Jason stood in front of the mirror again, but this time with a smile. His love handles, once a source of frustration, were significantly reduced. The combination of a sustainable caloric deficit, latissimus dorsi, training for a wider back, abdominal workouts for visible progress, and oblique exercises for a tapered waist had worked. He felt a surge of victory, not just in his slimmer physique, but in his renewed energy. He could keep up with his kids, run faster, and lift them higher, all while inspiring his family to adopt healthier habits. His wife noticed his confidence, and his children beamed with pride at their stronger dad. Jason's journey wasn't just about losing love handles. It was about reclaiming his vitality and becoming a role model for those he loved. Jason's story shows that overcoming stubborn love handles is possible with a balanced, empathetic approach. By following his 4-step plan, moderate nutrition, latissimus dorsi training, consistent abdominal work, and oblique exercises, you too can achieve lasting change. His transformation wasn't just physical. It was a triumph of hope, motivation, and self-compassion that reshaped his life and inspired his family. Start small, stay consistent, and let Jason's journey guide you toward your own victory. If you have found this story useful or insightful, please leave a like. See you next time.